I never bragged in front of my family that I made $500,000 a month. I came home unexpectedly without telling my brother. As a joke, I said that I had lost my job just to see his reaction. But the moment I reached the door of his apartment, I stopped when I heard a recording speaking in my own voice from inside. I had just raised my hand to knock on my brother Evan's apartment door when I heard my own voice coming from inside. "Evan, I'm transferring $200,000 right now. Don't tell anyone, especially Mom." My hand stopped in midair. I had never said that sentence. There were a few seconds of silence inside. Then Evan spoke. "No. You can hear the breath too clearly at the end. Play it again. She needs to sound more tired." A woman answered, "I already reduced the background noise. It isn't going to sound any more natural than this." Then my voice played again. "Evan, I lost my job. I need your help. I'm sending you $200,000 so you can take care of some things for me." It sounded exactly like me. The same pace. The same pauses between sentences. Even the slight strain in my voice sounded real. I took one step back, tightened my grip on the bag of donuts I had brought for him, and started recording on my phone. Inside, the woman said, "We only need to change the account number." Evan answered, "Send it to Mom first. If she believes it, the bank will believe it, too." I had returned to Phoenix without telling my family. 3 hours earlier, I had posted in our family group chat that I had lost my job. It was supposed to be a joke. I wanted to see how they would react if they thought I was suddenly unemployed. Now, I was standing outside my brother's apartment listening to a fake recording of my own voice. My name is Natalie Brooks. I was 36 years old, and I ran a financial technology company in Los Angeles. Between my salary, company profits, and shareholder distributions, I made about $500,000 a month. My family did not know that. They knew I worked in technology. They assumed I was an operations consultant for a medium-sized company, and I had never corrected them. I did not hide my money by pretending to be poor. I drove a nice car, lived in a good apartment, and traveled often. I simply did not discuss numbers. I did not post photographs of private flights, expensive dinners, or business events. When I visited Phoenix, I rented an ordinary SUV at the airport. That afternoon, while sitting in the rental car, I had written in the family group chat. "Bad news. My position was eliminated. Don't call me yet. I'm okay." Mom replied immediately. "Oh, honey, come home. We'll figure something out." Evan responded 4 minutes later. "Damn, sorry, but I don't have an extra room, just so you know." I read his message twice. His apartment had 2 bedrooms. He used the second one as a gaming room. I had paid for the computer in that room the previous year because he claimed he was starting a video editing business. I wrote back, "I didn't ask to live with you." He sent a laughing emoji. Mom then messaged me privately. "Don't take it personally. He's under a lot of stress himself." "What kind of stress?" I asked. She did not answer. That was when I decided to surprise them. I planned to show up in person, admit that the job loss message had been a joke, and see who had actually been concerned about me. It was childish. I knew that. But something had felt wrong for months. Evan had been asking me for money more often. Mom had started asking strange questions about my savings, retirement accounts, and insurance. Both of them kept repeating the same sentence. "If anything ever happens, family is all you have." I had treated it like an ordinary family expression. Standing outside Evan's apartment, it no longer sounded ordinary. The woman inside asked, "Did your sister really get fired?" Evan laughed. "I don't know. That's what she texted, but the timing is perfect. If she questions anything later, we'll say she was so stressed she forgot what she said." "What if the bank requires a live call?" Mom knows the answers to her security questions. I stopped recording, walked toward the elevator, and threw the donuts into the trash. Once I was inside the rental SUV, I called Maya Collins, my company's chief legal officer. She answered on the second ring. Did you make it to Phoenix? Yes. I need to ask you a strange question. Go ahead. Can someone use a cloned version of my voice to authorize a bank transfer? Her tone changed immediately. Where are you? In the parking lot outside Evan's apartment. What happened? I explained everything. She did not interrupt me once. When I finished, she said, "Do not go back inside. Send me the recording and call your bank's security department right now." Maya continued, "Secure your accounts first. Deal with your family later." After that, I contacted my private banking manager and disabled all voice-based authorization. Every large transfer was changed to require live video verification and additional written approval. Then I called Luis, the head of cybersecurity at my company. I need you to find out whether my voice has been used anywhere during the past 6 months. Do you suspect a security breach? Yes. And I think it may have started inside my family. I drove to a hotel instead of going to Mom's house. Evan messaged me as soon as I checked in. What happened with your severance? If you need cash, I can help. I stared at the screen for several seconds. Then I typed, "Thanks." The next morning, Mom called. "Where are you?" "Los Angeles." It was the first direct lie I had told her in years. "Why don't you come home?" she asked. "You shouldn't be alone right now. You seem very concerned about my job." "Of course I am. You're my daughter." "Is Evan concerned, too?" "He worries in his own way." "What exactly is his way?" "Natalie, this is not the time for sarcasm." I walked to the hotel window and looked down at the parking lot. The Arizona sun was already bright enough to reflect off every windshield. "Mom, did you send Evan any recordings of my voice?" She became silent. "What do you mean?" "Old voice messages, birthday videos, recorded calls, anything. He said he was working on a family project." "What kind of project?" "I don't know. Maybe some kind of surprise." "Did you also give him the answers to my security questions?" "Natalie, why are you asking me these things? It's a yes or no question." She exhaled. "He asked for the name of your first pet and the name of your high school teacher. I thought it was for a game. When did you send him the recordings?" She did not answer. "Mom. I'm going to be late for church. We'll talk later." She ended the call. 2 days later, Luis, Maya, and I met through an encrypted video conference. Luis began without small talk. We identified 7 suspicious audio files. Where were they used? 2 were sent to private lenders. 3 were sent to family members. 1 was sent to an auto dealership. 1 was used during a customer service call with a bank. Did any money leave my accounts? No. For the first time in 2 days, I relaxed slightly. Then Luis continued. "But $50,000 was withdrawn through your mother's home equity line of credit. A cloned version of your voice was used as part of the authorization. Why would they use my voice for her loan?" Maya answered, "Probably to make it appear that you had reviewed the arrangement and guaranteed repayment." Luis played the recording. My voice came through the speakers. "Mom, I looked at the documents. Give Evan the money. If he can't pay it back, I'll cover it." Then I heard Mom's real voice. "Natalie, are you sure?" My fake voice replied, "Yes. I make $500,000 a month. This isn't a large amount of money for me." I stopped the audio. "Who told Evan how much I make?" Luis opened a set of messages exchanged between Evan and Mom. Mom had written. "She has a lot of money. She doesn't tell us. I saw a tax envelope when I was at her apartment. It looks like she makes more than $6 million a year. Evan replied. Then she won't notice. Mom wrote. Only take what you can repay. I don't want to risk the house. I kept staring at the screen. Maya spoke quietly. Your mother knew. Until then, I had believed that Evan was manipulating her. I thought he had collected recordings and security information without explaining what he planned to do. But Mom had told him about my income. She had supplied the answers to my security questions. She had sent him voice samples. The financial records showed what happened to the $50,000. $16,000 went toward the down payment on a used Mercedes. $11,000 went into cryptocurrency. $8,000 paid down his girlfriend Kara's credit cards. The rest disappeared into rent, restaurants, and online gambling. Luis played another recording. Evan said, if Natalie asks, tell her she guaranteed it herself. Mom answered, she'll believe me. And if she doesn't, she won't go to the police against family. That isn't who she is. I looked at Maya. Now I know what I'm going to do. I called Mom that afternoon. Invite everyone to dinner on Sunday. Evan and Kara, too. You're coming home? Yes. I need to discuss my job. Did you receive severance? We'll talk on Sunday. Then I sent Evan a message. I may need financial help. Will you come to Mom's for dinner on Sunday? He replied within seconds. Of course. That's what family is for. On Sunday evening, Mom had roast chicken, mashed potatoes, and green beans on the dining table. Evan was wearing a new watch. Kara kept checking her phone. Mom hugged me. You look thinner. I'm fine. Evan pulled out his chair. So, what happened? Why did they fire you? Restructuring. How much severance did you get? Kara elbowed him. What? He said. We need to be practical. I sat down. I may not be able to afford my apartment. Mom answered immediately. You can stay with me. Evan lifted his water glass. Temporarily, right? Mom needs her space. I looked at him. You don't have room. My second bedroom is my office. The room where you manufactured my voice. His glass hit the table. Water spilled across the white table runner. Kara immediately pushed her chair back. I wasn't part of this. Shut up, Kara, Evan snapped. I placed my phone on the table and played the recording from outside his apartment. My false voice filled the dining room. Evan, I'm transferring $200,000 right now. Mom's face tightened. What were you doing outside his apartment? I came to surprise him because losing my job was a joke. Evan stared at me without speaking. I wanted to see what all of you would say, I continued. I got my answer. Mom shook her head. This is a misunderstanding. I put a folder on the table. A $50,000 misunderstanding. Evan leaned forward. Mom took out the loan. It has nothing to do with you. My voice was used. My income was used. My security answers were used. Mom spoke quietly. We would have paid it back. She looked away. I removed a page from the folder. $16,000 for a Mercedes. $11,000 for cryptocurrency. $8,000 for Kara's credit cards. The rest for gambling and restaurants. I looked directly at Evan. Which part of that was being paid back? Evan slammed his hand against the table. Why do you even care? You make 10 times that amount in a single month. The room became completely silent. I paid your rent twice, I said. You didn't need the money. I paid Mom's mortgage for 6 years. I paid for her insurance. I bought the computer for your so-called business. Kara turned toward him. You told me you paid for that computer. Evan raised his voice. That doesn't matter right now. I placed a small recorder beside the folder. Mom stared at it. What is that? Maya is in the next room. 2 bank investigators are waiting in the driveway. I filed a fraud report. Mom pushed her chair back. You called the police on your own brother. You said I never would. That is exactly why I did. Evan stood. This is a family matter. No. It is identity theft and financial fraud. I'm your sister, and my voice is not your property. Mom looked at me. I only gave him some recordings. I didn't know what he was doing. I slid a printed copy of her message across the table. Then she won't notice. The color left her face. Kara said, I'll cooperate. Evan turned on her. Are you kidding me? You told me it was a prank, Kara replied. You edited the files because you told me Natalie had approved it. Maya entered through the kitchen doorway carrying a tablet. The investigators are ready, she said. Evan grabbed his car keys. I'm leaving. Maya remained calm. Your Mercedes has been flagged as property purchased with fraud proceeds. Do not attempt to remove it from the driveway. He stopped. For the first time, he looked the way he should have looked when he thought I had lost my job. Silent. But it was too late. The next 4 months were filled with attorneys, interviews, financial records, and recorded statements. Kara turned over the editing software, audio files, and text messages. Because she cooperated, she received probation and community service. Evan denied everything at first. When the apartment recording, lender files, and bank records were presented, he accepted a plea agreement. He was sentenced to 18 months in federal custody, ordered to pay restitution, and placed under supervised release for 3 years after completing his sentence. Mom was not criminally charged because she signed a cooperation agreement. Investigators concluded that she had not understood every part of the scheme, but she had understood enough. She knew Evan was using my income without permission. She knew the recordings were being used to persuade someone. She knew they were relying on the belief that I would never report my own family. Her house was sold to repay the home equity debt. With what remained, she bought a small condo in Mesa. I stopped paying her mortgage. I continued covering her medical insurance. I was not willing to leave her without health care. But everything else ended. No vacations. No emergency credit card. No expensive gifts. No more, just this once. Evan sent me 2 letters from prison. The first contained an apology. The second said I had destroyed his life. I placed both letters in a drawer and did not reply. Mom still calls occasionally. Our conversations rarely last longer than 10 minutes. We talk about the weather, grocery prices, and people from her church. She does not mention Evan often. Once she said, we all made mistakes. I answered, we did not all make the same mistake. She became silent after that. I still make approximately $500,000 a month. My family now knows the exact amount. Knowing it did not improve anything. The only difference is that no one treats my success like their personal emergency fund anymore. And whenever I hear my recorded voice during a company presentation, I listen carefully to the first few seconds just to make sure it is really me.